Hi guys, I've just got offline watching the online Orgreave Rally. It's a rally to commemorate the Battle of Orgreave, which was a fight between the miners and the police in the 80s. It's one of the many injustices that we've got over here. As usual, you have speakers from all walks of life. So you've got people from the Hillsborough campaign, people from the Shrewsbury, people from Grenfell. And the thing that seems to happen again and again is the elite don't do what they're supposed to do. And when that inevitably causes the death and suffering of poor people, nothing is done about it. We've seen that again and again. Hillsborough, for example, my earliest memory, my dad was in it. Luckily he survived, but his cousins didn't. And we've been fighting ever since to get justice for that. Gagging orders are placed on people, not allowed to talk about it. Files are changed and covered up. We've seen that with the Grenfell. We've seen that again and again with people who come to blows with the police. The police are completely in the wrong, and instead of doing something about that, it gets covered up. People get protected, and you're left with millions of families wondering why the life of their loved one isn't important enough to get justice. And I think that's an important thing with COVID and with Black Lives Matter. These are injustices that have been going on for hundreds of years. These are injustices that are systematic. They're in the system. You look at the prison population, particularly in America, majority of those people are Black or Hispanic. They will receive ridiculous sentences, which mean they probably never be released from prison, and even if they will, they've got no life to build. They've got no compensation, no money. Their criminal record prevents them from getting a job. It prevents them from voting. And it's still, you can see it's still systematic in this country. You know, we're bringing down statues of slave traders, bad people who did bad things, and people are complaining about history. It's our history. History belongs in a museum. Would you expect to go to Germany and see a statue of Hitler? Do we not know who Hitler is? We all know who he is. We've got videos, we've got photos, we've got books, we've got museums. We know who he is. We know what he did. We don't need statues up for that. And the thing that just came out of the rally, all these groups coming together, is this is not rich v poor, although most of the time that is what it is. It's not black v white. This is right v wrong. These are injustices that need to be corrected. COVID was mismanaged ridiculously, and it's caused over 40,000 deaths, 500 of which are frontline NHS workers. Every single one of those deaths was preventable. And I know I will, along with people in all other campaigns, Shrewsbury, Hillsborough, Orgreave, Grenfell. We will not be silenced. The one thing that Tories do, they have a playbook with how they deal with these things. They do the same thing every time. They're too lazy to even deviate from the playbook. So we know how they work. We know how they're going to work, because they do the same thing every time. They distance themselves from the problem. The problem is usually caused by greed. So safety regulations haven't been followed because the person in charge wants to save some money. normally a friend of a Tory government, which is why they'd never get any sort of justice towards them, because it's their friends, so they're going to protect their friends, even though they've broken the law. And that's resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people. This current situation with the virus, you know, it's just another bit of evidence of the injustice in our system. You know, we found out pretty early on that COVID affected black and minorities a lot more than white people, and nothing has been done about that. You know, we all know if it was mainly middle-aged white men who died from this virus, they'd be doing something about it. So it's just things like that, again and again, proof that our systems are systematically wrong. They are racist, they are biased, and we need to change that. You know, this group of people that oppress the country are a small group. There are more of us than there are of them, particularly if we stand together. If Grenfell and Hillsborough and Orgreave, COVID sufferers, Shrews, if we all stand together, then they can't oppress us. There are more than us than there are them. At the moment, the main thing we need to be looking at is the Black Lives Matter movement. This is something, as you know, I feel passionately about. I grew up in Merseyside, and I was aware as a child that there were petitions against street names and statues because they were of slave traders. This is not a new thing. They try and make out like it's a new thing, but it isn't. They have asked politely, and they've been ignored. As far as I'm concerned, you're forcing our hand. We will get justice. If there's no justice, then there'll be no peace. Black Lives Matter. Solidarity. Stay safe, everyone.